Marvin, where do you start with that one today?
Start with the first minute and go all the way through. The players were told before the game exactly what to expect, exactly what we were to do. They were told at half-time. I thought for large parts of the first half we were making silly mistakes, basic mistakes, basic errors, and they were told at half-time that they needed to eradicate them. They were being told why they were making the mistakes and what they needed to do. And then in the second half, not a lot in it in terms of goal-mouth action for either team. We do an awful lot of work on how to kind of get out of your own third with certain scenarios, and one of the things that we don't do, and it's one of my most experienced players does something that we've said not to do, and steps out, plays the ball across the park, and then as soon as you give away the ball in those situations and your middle centre half's out of position, it's highly likely you're going to concede a goal, and then we do. And then you're trying to fight to get yourselves back into a game. It's so frustrating, so frustrating, because as I said to them in there, I can look every one of them in the eye and tell them that they get absolutely everything from me and the coach and staff. And it just seems sometimes that doing the basic things well is too easy for some, and then they try and do other things, and it's just means that you lose games of football when you shouldn't.
Does it feel like one step forward and two back today after last week's performance against Falkirk?
Yeah, but last week is last week, and we moved quickly on from that, and we addressed that with the players and pat them on the back for things they did well, and then we look at things that we could do better, and then you look forward to this game, and as I said, people forget about last week very, very quickly. Even if you win 5-6 games in a row and then you go out and you don't put a performance in, people forget about the 5 or 6 games prior to that. The bare minimum in life is to give 100% effort, and really go out there and be the best version of yourself. Not everyone's going to play well every week. I totally understand that people are going to make mistakes, but some of the basic things that I saw today that didn't lead to goals, but some of our defending at time today, and not wanting to get hit by the ball, not wanting to get close to your man and keep them going one way, want to turn your back, all the things that I can't explain to you, the amount of time, Sandra, that goes into the stuff that we do. I really, really can't explain. And I mean, watching 8-10 hours worth of footage to put it together for 15 to 20 minutes for players to go and watch. And, that serving up that today from an effort point of view from some, and just not doing the basic things well from some, it hurts to see. It hurts to see. And I know, listen, I understand the frustration of the fans. I get it. We are frustrated as well. But some accountability needs to be taken, and that starts with me, because I'm the manager and I pick the team. But we've had an honest chat in there, because that's 8 defeats this season. That is so far from acceptable at this point in the season that it's untrue.
What you're saying today seems to be that you feel that there wasn't 100% effort. No, do you know what? 100% effort in doing the basic things. Do the basic things well. You look at the good players, the brilliant players, they do the basic things well to the best of their ability. So I'm not saying people aren't putting in the effort in terms of running around, no, but keep doing the basic things well. It's almost like it becomes too easy doing the basic things, so I'm going to try and do something different. That's not how football works, because as soon as one person goes off script, then it makes it more difficult for everybody else, because they're then second guessing what's going to happen. So no, it's not an effort thing in terms of trying and running around and stuff, but it's doing the basic things well and showing the quality that you do have when you do have the ball, and then getting back into shape as quickly as you possibly can, and those sorts of things. So and that's the real frustration, because there was nothing in that game, and that wasn't us playing even close to our potential, and not really mirroring the performance from last week at all. Stick to your task and don't be too fancy. Exactly that. Just stick to what you need to do, because sooner or later it will begin to break people down, it will begin to break teams down, teams will tire. But it almost gets to a stage where it's like, I've been doing that for 16 minutes now, 65 minutes, this is too easy, let me try and do something different. And all of a sudden you can see the goal and got something to hang on to.
you know, and that's the thing, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot because you're not being opened up by great play. You are causing your own problems, and it's not the first time this season. And every time it's happened, we've gone back, we've watched it, we've addressed it, we've then gone on the training pitch and show why you don't do it and what you should do. And then every so often it rears its head again, you know, and that's just for me as a concentration thing.
And in this league, fine margins, one goal tends to kind of swing it either way. And if you're making that mistake and losing it, it makes it very, very difficult.
Yeah, exactly. You know, in any league though, you know, you can't make those mistakes and think, oh, we'll get away with it. You know, you really, really can't. As I said, if you're under massive pressure and a team opens you up and scores a fantastic goal, you hold your hands up. But to keep making the same mistakes, and it's different people, by the way. It's not always the same individual, but it's just not acceptable. And as I said, you know, if we didn't work on things, if we didn't show them, if we didn't put all that time into it, and then you kept seeing it happen, then you'd be like, do you know what? That's on us. But sometimes there has to be a bit of accountability and say, you know, you've been shown not to do that, and the reasons why you don't do it. And there might be other games when we got away with it, and we still show them. You can win a game and learn an awful lot. You know, yeah, I'm a frustrated figure today, and as I said, I feel for the fans and I understand their frustrations. I really, really do. Everybody
knows that it's a rough time and it's a thing, but do you see yourself getting out of this?
Yeah, of course. You know, 100%. You know, I see us getting out of it. It's not just me. In terms of trying to get out of it, nobody's happy where we are at this moment in time. So it's not like I have a group of players who think that's acceptable, or coaching staff who think it's acceptable. You know, so I have to lead the team out of this because I am the manager. You know, 100% get out of it. But like I've said earlier, we have to do the basic things well, and just continue to do that. Because as I said, even in the first half, when I spoke to them at half time, it was small things that we weren't doing well, and it's about, you know, trying to get our dangerous players more on the ball. But for that to happen, you have to have the platform of keeping a clean sheet and keeping yourself within the game. Because like you said there, teams get one goal and all of a sudden they've got something to hang on to, all of a sudden they get a little bit more energy, and you can't keep passing up opportunities to teams to allow them to score goals. Because Harry Stones, I can't remember him making a ridiculous amount, so I can't make him any real saves that I thought, I think the one actually Daniel Church plays across to Oscar, a square ball just outside our box, intercepts it, Harry saves it with his feet. But apart from that, I can't remember anything else.
It was a game that really, there wasn't many chances at either end today.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Queens are used to creating chances and stuff, but I don't think that was even there so much today.
Yeah, well, Kieran McKechnie had a chance, didn't he? That their keeper saves off the break. We have another shot as well that's saved and this kind of comes off the break. But as you said, it wasn't one of those games that there was loads and loads of chances. But if it stays 0-0, and you know the work you've been doing in trying to move teams and trying to work them, all of a sudden will bear fruit towards the end. But as soon as you give a team a goal, there's something to hang on to, and then all of a sudden they sit a little bit deep and have a little bit more energy to hang on to things. So yeah, you know, as I said earlier, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot there.
And the more they shoot themselves in the foot and the run goes on, the confidence, does that start to become an issue a little bit?
Yeah, when I say becomes an issue, obviously you lose confidence if you're not winning games of football. But then the flip side of that, people will say, well, last week against the top of the league, you know, performed extremely well and were unlucky not to win the game. So there wasn't a confidence issue then. Sometimes I think confidence is an excuse. When you are a player, you're very lucky that each game starts at 0-0. There's not like an aggregate score that you have to kind of recover from. So yeah, listen, I can stand and say, people are low on confidence, etc. But you know, today wasn't a confidence thing. It was about making a basic mistake and then being punished when you make that mistake.
Very dejected when they're leaving here today as well. So
they're upset. They are upset, you know. And as I said, you know, talking is very easy, isn't it? It's easy to talk. But you know, some players had some harsh words to be said to, you know, not just about others, but including themselves. You know, as a group, you know, where they're kind of letting themselves down and we're letting each other down, etc. So they are dejected, they are hurting. They're not a group of players who just think, you know, it's another game and tick it off. I'm just going to go home now. They are hurting and they're frustrated. They're massively frustrated today. But you know, being frustrated after, you know, costing yourself a goal is understandable, but it shouldn't have happened.
Kick on, try and kick on again next week.
Yeah, and that's all you can do, Sandra. It is try and kick on. But, you know, we need to, as I said earlier in the interview, do the basic things well for 90 minutes of a game. Don't get bored of doing that. and sooner or later you will create chance. As I said, there wasn't a game today when I'm talking about free-flowing football and us attacking, etc. It wasn't one of those games. I perfectly understand that, although we did have a couple of chances in the break. But you have to give yourself an opportunity to win games by not making a mistake at the back. That's what it is. And as I said, defenders who are going to really want to defend, really want to block things, really want to tackle people and do the ugly side of football. Some people call it throwback defending. I call it defending. Being good on the ball doesn't mean you're a good defender. Being able to stop the ball from being shot at your goal and showing people into certain positions where you can take the ball back, that makes you a good defender.